Hey, good afternoon, good everyone, good evening, good morning, everyone, depending on wherever you are. Welcome to the 143rd edition of ClariTea Chat. In today's special edition, we have Vijay Balakrishnan, Group CDIO of Godrej Industries, and Eklak Bari, founder of X.O Consulting. Hi, guys. Good
Hi.
afternoon.
Hello,
Very good afternoon.
Jagdish. Good
Good afternoon.
evening.
Very-
One
Oh, good
one minute
evening.
past.
Yes, yes. It should be afternoon, but it's evening, given winters. Yeah. So, quick introductions. Vijay has a solid foundation in data and analytics, having served as Chief Data and Analytics Officer at UPL Group, Chief Data Officer at Michelin, and Senior Director Data and Analytics at GE Transportation. This makes him an ideal choice for a discussion on AI. And Bari is an AI coach and consultant who has served as CIO, CDO in data heavy BFSI and retail industries with CIO roles at Max Life, Fullerton, Jubilant Foodworks, and HT Media. He's also a prolific LinkedIn contributor on AI. His posts are amazing. So, thank you all for joining us on today's 143rd ClariTea Chat special edition, discussing state of enterprise AI entering 2026. So, right up front, like every new hype, AI today is like everyone talks about it. Nobody really knows how to do it. Everyone thinks everyone else is doing it, so everyone claims they are doing it. And all consultants talk about the revolutionary nature of AI, while the experience is that many enterprises shut out Gen AI tools due to security and privacy concerns. However, the ground reality lies somewhere in between. It is far more nuanced and complex. So let's learn from our practitioners uh, on where we truly stand today. Both can coexist. You can block out Gen AI as well as innovate with it. So we hope that by the end of the session, you will gain clarity through an amalgamation of these diverse perspectives. We'll structure our thought-provoking discussion on a few themes: own platforms versus public platforms, security, privacy, and risks around enterprise AI, frameworks for AI use in enterprises, including agentic AI, building capabilities, engaging partners, the hot topic of ROI and the business case for AI, and some behind the curtains hard realities. We will also discuss some practitioner hacks to leverage AI for multiplying our own productivity, and of course your questions. So let's make it interactive. Please drop your questions and comments on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and the panel will pick these up. And at the end of it, we hope to leave you with some diverse experience laced viewpoints to help you assess the state of enterprise AI as we enter 2026. So before I give the mic to our esteemed guests, I want to acknowledge our audience. We have CXOs, founders, IT managers, and seasoned technology leaders in our audience. We all know the multi-layered and fast-moving complexities of technology and management, and our endeavor is to bring you clarity from the experience of our guests. And this session is special. It goes beyond to discuss what and how. It has been a journey of co-creation, deeper connections, and learnings from each other with my guests, and we have been cheered by our audience, engaging session after session. So, all of you out there listening to us, live or recorded, thanks for your encouragement and engagement from all over the world. We wouldn't have reached 142 without you, and this is 143rd one. So, before we start, or as we continue with the session, please send us your names, locations you are joining from, and please keep asking your questions to our guests. So let's begin the session with a few quick fires, and I encourage my audience to also answer these questions on on the chat. So over to you guys, Vijay and Bari. Um, how do you use AI in your personal life? Bari, we'll start with you.
See, look, I am a solopreneur, so my there is nothing about my business where I don't use AI. From proposal making to social media posts, everything from a business perspective, I'm using AI. Personal life, as such, for travel planning, for making some decisions, and how to talk to my teenage kids. These are the three things that
Wow.
I use AI for.
I think for the for the last one, you definitely need it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I pleasantly surprised with the kind of EQ that is provided by AI and the way to approach these conversations, because these are very difficult conversations, and AI has been helpful there.
Awesome. So Vijay, how about you?
Yeah, so Bari stole travel planning from me. So I do that too. Very uniquely, we were planning a long vacation, almost like about 8 months back, for like 13-day vacation plan. It was literally all over the place, northeast of India. So I used AI to create a short video, which gives you a flavor of day by day. So I punched in where we stayed and what we are planning to see, and it gave us a glimpse of those places. So
Wow.
it gave, so it was two of our families. It gave us a little bit of a sneak preview or a teaser of what we are going to encounter. Uh, Another thing, again, out of all this productivity and serious business, right? Personal life is all about fun and kids, and like Bari said about teenage kids. I have a 6-year-old, and I she asked me to tell her stories. I use humorous content with her almost on a daily basis. I used AI to create a comic strip which looked like her, and the punchline of the joke was depicted pictorially. When she saw it, she was blown away. So I think I would not have imagined. I'm not a artist who could draw, so I would not have imagined something like this without AI. So personal life gets more fun and color thanks to AI of late.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, let me share mine as well.
Sure.
I found a hack, and whoever I've told it to them, and they are like, "Oh my God, this is like magic." Okay, so we all heard of AI hallucination. That's nothing but, if you really ask me, it was like it's assuming a lot of things, right? Whatever you're not telling it. So how I cracked it is like, every time I want some help, I ask it, and then I tell it, and this has become a standard line, right? Even if I'm like Googling something, I tend to use it. So it's like, before you start, ask me anything, that will help me better. Okay. And you won't believe, most of the times it asks me 10 plus questions. Okay. That means if you're not asking that question, that's the number of things it is assuming about your context, right? In terms of helping you. Now, I have used it funnily to diagnose, like, we keep getting like, something here and there in our health. And, at my age, which is 50 plus, you keep doubting, like, is it this or is it that? So instead of being paranoid, I just ask it questions that, hey, I'm feeling like this, I'm feeling like this. Ask me anything before you before you tell me what it is, right? And it will ask me all kinds of questions. You won't believe, there are 3 4 cases, 3 4, like, symptoms that I have clarified with it, and I have been like pacified by it. So okay, so guys, anybody out there who wants to share anything
That hack.
about how you use AI? Okay, keep it coming, guys. So um, let's let's bring in the people who have been making their presence felt. So we have Amarinder. Hey, Amarinder, Happy New Year. And well, oh, this is the first Clarity Chat of 2026. So happy New Year to everyone. I forgot it. Thank you, Amrinder, for reminding us. Happy New Year, everyone. Good evening, Vijayan, Bari, Belwal. Real greetings from the heart and not an agent. Wow. Okay. So there's a LinkedIn user. I don't. Can you just put your name? I can see a LinkedIn user here. How do we leverage AI and GenAI in the retail domain? We'll come to that question. And Ankit says AI has frankly become the new dhania. Sprinkle it everywhere and hope it tastes smart. First of all, Ankit, thanks for joining and thanks for that comment. That kind of lightens up the day. Yes, it's like dhania, but today we are going to make a matar paneer out of it by going a little deeper than that.
Only
And
difference,
so,
you don't get it for free.
sorry.
Only difference is you don't get this for free. AI.
Yeah, you get this for free. Yeah, dhania you can get it for free. Like you buy some sabji and say dhania free.
Enterprises are asking it for free
Yeah.
in POC mode.
Yeah. We'll discuss this. We'll discuss this. Okay. So we have hey Suyash, thanks for joining. Do we have an AI governance framework and acceptable use policy in place? We will discuss it. Okay. So let's start with the first question to Vijay. So Vijay, when you say using AI in the enterprise, the first thing is that like, what do you use? Is it like ChatGPT or is it Copilot or what is it? So what are the AI platforms you use and how did you choose them? Tell us a little bit insider information about how do you take those decisions or how did you take those decisions?
Got it. So, so there is native AI platforms, folks that were uh, doing AI for the sake of just doing generative AI interfaces. So we use ChatGPT. We use a little bit in some places. We use Gemini. Some places we look at Copilot. I think it's a mixed bag. They're all evolving much faster. Lately, I've been playing around with Gemini 3.0 framework, etc. So I think there is anti-gravity and so on. So that Google. There is second bunch of platforms who adopted the AI way, right? Because like today everybody is saying, "Oh, our platform has AI." So now I don't know what is an AI platform because then there is AI engines that created platform for using their models and tools. Then there are other platforms that have now brought in AI into their platforms, which gives AI in context of an ERP or a CRM. They would not have highlighted it as a prime feature about 4 or 5 years back. Today, that's the first thing they talk about. And then thirdly, there is fit to purpose platforms, right? Where you come in here, there is a video analytics for safety in the industrial usage. That's our platform. So, and we look at everything. To be honest, one cannot prefix an answer and live with it. Question really is uh, what is the intended usage, who is going to use it, and how are they going to use it. That derives the answer of which platform do we use. It's complex. We are trying to. Our jobs are much about simplifying complex frameworks and decision trees. So we have created a little bit of a decision chart for our organization to figure out which tool is best for me based on the purpose, based on what they are intending to do, etc. So no straight
Awesome.
answer to this. So we'll be using AI into every enterprise platform that we are already using. We'll be using core AI platforms for very focused use cases like research, analysts, and so on. And then fit to purpose, where there is maximum bang for the buck, we want a specialist solution, and we would really want to look at fit to purpose solutions as well.
Okay, no, awesome. Bari, any views on that? Anything that
Yeah,
your
sure.
customers
I would say the first of all, I completely agree that it needs to be purpose backwards, and within the purpose backwards, I can share certain perspectives that I have experienced in the past 1 year. Um, you will have an option. Companies will have an option of, let's say, you have an ERP system. They are bringing their agents. Their CRM. They are bringing their agents, and you can make that decision as he said. If you're like looking for a CRM use case, possibly that's an option that you can consider. But there's one option don't consider. I would strongly discourage is a on-prem option, right? Especially when you are trying to build capabilities. It is such a new technology, such a dynamic technology that it's nearly impossible to build a on-prem capability, and even if you build it, to keep it up to date is going to be difficult. So therefore, to my clients, I usually advise that whichever cloud, whichever hyperscaler that you are on, all hyperscalers have their GenAI platforms. Amazon has Bedrock, Microsoft had AutoGen, which they are now calling the AI agent framework, and then Google has Vertex. So I would go with whichever cloud I have a good relationship. There isn't really a huge difference between what AWS and Microsoft and Google offer. Don't try to do a like a 3 month study on which one to use. Just whichever one you are comfortable with and you have a relationship with, use that platform. And I've seen successes in all three. I've seen success with Google's Vertex, I've seen success with Amazon Bedrock, and I've seen a success with AutoGen.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, so now let's come to the question that we started with and that we threw on LinkedIn also. So many enterprises have blocked ChatGPT on enterprise machines. Okay, is this regressive or a necessary response to privacy and security concerns? And so what have you done and why? Vijay, I'll start with you.
Uh, yeah, so might be little counterintuitive, but when we started off with blocking free access to all LLMs, this was almost a year and a half back. Um, there were a lot of known unknowns, unknown unknowns, and in their personal life, personal devices, it was always okay. Organization wide, when people are inquisitive, it's very difficult for controlling what they do with a beast like this. And then where there is genuine interest, of course, right? So it's like we have got 6,000 plus managers in the company. So we block it for everyone. The really needful 10 will knock the door really hard. And to them, we helped. And either some cases we have built custom solutions, some cases we have assisted them with license to Copilot or a Gemini, etc. But back to security, I think that question of cybersecurity is much broader. It encompasses AI into it. So we everything you put on the network side, server side, even let's say client side in terms of how they interact with LLMs. We can even block uploads, copy paste. All that is, I would say, more reactive, and the best proactive solve to governance, security, safety is always um, communication, and making sure people are their awareness level around all of this is increasing. So that's what we do. We do multiple awareness sessions on cybersecurity for years to all together, but we've encompassed more AI related uh, do's and don'ts, specifically Gen AI related do's and don'ts in the last few months. We do that at each of our sites, headquarters, each of our factories. So I think it's a mixed bag. So far, people are genuinely you know keen to test some of it, but they are aware of the pitfalls. Thanks to the over communication, I think their awareness quotient, some examples we have thrown at them, sensitize them to the fact that look, it's great, but you should be extremely careful when you don't own the documents. Companies document, it's not your personal. Then you need to be very careful what you do with that information. And lastly, I would also want to call out data sensitivity, whether it is confidential or restricted data, classified data. Then there are certain rules that apply irrespective of whether you're trying to do AI with AI on it, Gen AI engines on it. So I think that's one side of it. The other side is, like I said, awareness always.
Awesome. Bari, any what are your views on this, on the security side?
Yes, the question was positioned as, is it regressive to block access? It
No,
is
the question
regressive.
was not that. The
Yeah,
question the question was, is this regressive or a necessary response to
yeah,
privacy and security in
yeah, yeah.
enterprise?
It is regressive if you do not provide an option,
Okay.
right? So if you block access, you got to provide an access. Some option, either an enterprise version of any of these LLMs, or do your own tailored version. The companies that have done that. But if you only block access, not only is it regressive, but there will be a shadow use of AI that you won't be able to control. So it's a bit like banning liquor in Bihar. It still goes on illegally, but on the face of it, it is banned. And so, if you do provide an option, it is very important, as Vijay mentioned, to treat it like a security awareness program. You got to keep educating people on safe and secure use of AI.
Absolutely, absolutely. Fully agree with you two guys on it that it is like any other security, issue, or the gambit of AI includes the gambit of security includes AI. So, on this note, I want to bring in that question from Suyash that he asked right in the beginning. Do we have an AI governance framework and acceptable use policy in place? Vijay?
We do. Uh, like all governance framework, this also is a mixed bag of people, process, and technologies. So AI governance, the first thing you have to set is your AI governance board. We have one that reviews platforms that we approve, that reviews even LLM foundational models that we pick for specific purposes, and also who gets access to it, what are they doing with it. I think that end-to-end monitoring is critical, and it should be done by the governance board. It's not an individual person. It's not a very usually it's a 50, let's say 33% between people, process, technology. In this case, with everything going on, it is more like 60-70% people. Process and technology are both fast evolving, changing, one tied to the other. We have to bring that weightage down. But on top of that, they've also built processes around monitoring the usage. In some cases where there are these freemium versions and so on, we are trying to restrict the kind of usage in those free versions, because they are usually multi-tenant. From a security perspective, it becomes a nightmare when we start thinking about where the data is going, residing, what might one do with it. And lastly, technology front, uh, like like all things have good and bad side, right? So I think AI also has a good side when it comes to security and safety, where inside cybersecurity cell, be it SOC or what we do with DLP, we have AI agents at work at our place as we speak. They continuously monitor for anomalies. They continuously learn from uh, public information of what's happening, qualified risks that we send it to the knowledge of that agent, and they will start looking for such anomalies happening internally, flag them, give us a red, yellow, green, and so on. So, but primarily people. If I have to say one word on it, it has to be people dependent, and create a governance board and let the board do the needful. And it should be a cross-functional governance board, not just technical people. I would say we would need the CISO, we would need business experts, we would need legal experts, everybody in that board.
Um, I, I know a pretty good discussion, Suyash. I hope your question got answered. That yes, not just governance, but you need to have a governance board in place, and it has to cover people, process, technology, everything. So, just to kind of some quick takeaways. Free access. Free access means you are the product. Your data is going to be used. So, and combining it with what Bari said, that don't bring prohibition, otherwise it will have shadow use and there'll be a parallel market. So give as per need basis, and as Vijay earlier also mentioned that if somebody definitely needs it, then let them explain and then provide the access. Don't be a blocker, but be a security guard. Make sure that all the KYCs are in place, right? And awareness plays a big role, like any other security matter. Awareness plays a big role. Ownership of information is a very key consideration here. that when you upload information on any public platforms, it should not, I mean, you are actually in a way passing on the ownership unless you have a trusted contracted relationship in place where which says that no, this will not be used in any other way, right? And uh, yeah, and then I think that was a good one, Vijay. Thanks for telling us about the governance board and what it does and all of that. Yeah. So let's move on. Yeah, let me now bring in some questions here. Okay, so there was this one question about retail domain. Any quick insights about it, Vijay? I know you guys are in retail. Bari, you were in retail, so any quick thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'll actually, instead of giving you the fish, I what I'll share is how you can fish, whether it is retail or any industry, uh, especially Gen AI. And I'm not talking about classic AI. For Gen AI, you got to look at processes, departments, and functions that are high on processing of text or document. So customer service, marketing, HR. Those are good opportunities for GenAI. Anything that is high on processing of content or images, anything that is high on processing of video or audio. For example, so if you are in retail and if you have a camera looking at a store and then you have some very important controls, the violation of which could impact the business, possibly GenAI can be used. So, no, wherever text, image, video, audio, content is being processed, those are the areas where you can use. To talk about retail, industry agnostic, you can use it in marketing, use it in HR, you can use it in customer service, you can use it in operations, and to some bit, you can do augmentation of sales as well in the retail domain. Oh, there is one more thing. Sorry. As I said, any area which is very high on text, what I've come across, Shopify or any of these big e-commerce companies, almost all of them, including Alibaba, have used AI for product description. So if you are let's say a merchant on Amazon and you are selling 100 SKUs, you have to write good 100 product descriptions. That's where AI comes to use. And then if you're selling it to people who speak 10 different languages, it becomes 100 into 10. You got 1,000 product descriptions. So AI is high leverage and high efficiency in terms of product descriptions in the retail domain.
No, awesome, awesome. I think that's a good one. So let me move on. Thanks, Bari, for that. Let me see if there are any other comments we want to pick up at this point. Deepak has a comment. Okay, so looks like he liked my AI hallucination mitigation example. So he says, your example of AI hallucinating is nothing but lack of context. Yeah, I think that's you kind of caught the nerve of it, Deepak. It is lack of context. So you're basically asking it to clarify the context before it answers. And he says that's exactly what differentiates AI as a POC and AI in production. I agree with it. Without the right architecture and plumbing, your enterprise AI will remain an experiment. Looking forward to insights from Vijay and Clark in this session. Hey, thanks Deepak for joining, and thanks for the comment. We have Nitin Harne saying, hello, Ankit seems to be a cynic. He says simple logical calculation are being bragged as AI. Let's say in our domain, operational research based logics are branded as we are AI part. Ankit, you know what? We have to be like swans, right? We have to differentiate. We have to separate the milk from the water. I am like, I was one day laughing when a fellow CIO basically wrote on, I think, LinkedIn or maybe some WhatsApp group, saying that, hey, we are so proud of our digital transformation successes. We just upgraded our SAP to S4 HANA. So, so you know, things get sold based on the latest one. So yeah, that doesn't mean we should be cynic. I think we should be like swans. We should be picking up the white from the colorless. Okay, so okay, now there's another one from Sriram. He says still it's a challenge on scaling from pilots to production remains elusive with issues like model drift, siloed teams, unclear ROI, governance gaps, and regulatory delays. So Vijay, I know you guys have been doing work on AI, and you've productionized. Have you faced this challenge that Sriram, and like, is there? Do you think there's a mitigation that that you guys have thought about?
Oh yeah. So tell me about it. Sriram is spot on. There is and I think little bit we spoke about it a few minutes back also. There's a lot of difference between what you do in a pilot. There is no POC here. This concept is proven. It is logic. It has to work. So then the question is, what's an MVP? Where do I draw a cut on MVP, which incorporates all the challenges that Sriram here is talking about? I think that becomes a critical game here. So the usual slice of, okay, let me do it in this region or do it for one product in one city and then see what comes out of it, and then we will take that learning. That doesn't work, because some complexities do come out over time. Some complexities do come out when you kind of open the range to multiple products, multiple regions, multiple types of usage, and so on. So 100% we need to watch. I think the trick is to design the pilot. And Jagdish, you talked about swan. So you know, how do we pilot as a swan? That's the critical angle. Okay, so everything sounds great. And if you ask these product companies, they will try their minimal risk pilot to say that, oh, you put it here, you would see great value. But you should be cautious to give them the most challenging pilot. And if it really works there, despite all the pitfalls that Sriram talked about, you would be solving them. It's not unsolvable. Then you have a almost like a production ready scalable unit. So that's where we have been very picky. We have got right now we have 3 agents in production, and between the initial pilot we did and the version today, it has evolved. Naturally, it has evolved. It is about giving it to people, making it iterative. I was speaking to my team yesterday. They said that we had a feedback session last week. They gave us feedback, and in 1 hour we corrected, we gave it back to them. So I think that the cycle, the turnaround time, and the cycle of fixing things, giving it back, is also fast tracked thanks to AI. So I think that's the only way to deal with it. Pilot, be
No.
very careful, and then learn very quick and keep adapting your
So Vijay, I'm bringing this question from Samir Fatke, which is, do you have an actual live AI enterprise implementation you have seen which is producing ROI?
Yes, absolutely, yes, absolutely. Like, see, this is intelligent cognitive automation. That's what we are talking about. In the good old RPA world, where you said that, oh, you know what, this screen needs to be like this, the template matters, this data should be exactly in this range of pixels on the screen, etc., etc. All that doesn't matter. Wherever you have put people to deal with, a complex process, or understanding what's happening over a chain of emails, you've got such a team, such, I would say, today it looks like fat, earlier it looks like a very definitive need, but that you have everywhere. So there is ROI definitely in it. Those roles are going to be transformed into more intelligent roles. So
Yeah,
100%, yes. Even in our organization, we have spotted a process which was people heavy, only because that there is a lot of cognitive evaluation that needs to go runtime, and we have an AI agent that actually, in fact, it's a multi-agent framework. So one agent from a functionality perspective, 3 agents working behind the scenes, that actually does the work of about 20 people. So we have definite success stories in AI.
yeah. And I think the principle here, Samir, coming to your question, and I think I'll also pick on what Bari said earlier. Wherever you have unstructured information, lots of, I would even include text in that, right? Text in emails and documents and PDFs and all is like unstructured information. What I mean is that it's not sitting in tables and columns and records and all of that, right? I think that's where this works best. Very quick, any quick take
Yeah,
on this?
yeah, very important, right? So to answer the question is yes, with a but. So there are companies, and I know of companies that have gotten ROI. There's ROI in customer service. I know that for a fact. There's ROI in marketing. I know that for a fact. There's ROI in recruitment, especially if you are hiring in large numbers. So there is ROI. Now, there's a study published by MIT in November of 2025 that says only 5% of the organizations see ROI in AI, which is correct. Which is correct. So, do you see ROI? Yes. But how many are seeing ROI? 5%. So the question becomes, why are the 95% not seeing ROI? And therefore, what is the reason behind it? Now, I say this during my workshops and during my consulting assignment, that it is intuitive for people to think to blame the lack of 95% not having ROI on AI. When you go into deep into that research, you will realize that companies or organizations that are not realizing ROI is not because of AI. Just like digital transformation does not fail because of the wrong technology, it is things around it. Executive sponsorship, thinking business backwards, having the right governance and risk management in place. So it is your approach to AI that defines whether or not you will get ROI, not AI. AI you will get. If your approach is right, you will get the AI right also, right? There are some best practices of several of them have been touched upon by Vijay. That CEO sponsorship is a must. The risk and governance is a must. There's a concept called evals. You must have evals, which is part of risk and governance. Human in the loop implementation, business backwards thinking. These go deep into your workflow. Don't the dhania analogy is great at another level. When you do POC, you are only touching the surface. You are not going to get ROI by hey, vendor A, come in and do a POC. I don't care. The vendor also doesn't care. You're not giving the money. Superficial. So if you take those kind of approaches, which is what is happening in 95% of the cases, and organizations are learning, you'll not see ROI. But have the right approach to AI, you will get ROI.
Yeah. So, that question was coming much later. So I thought, let me pick it up earlier since people are already
Yeah.
thinking about it. I think you said something profound, Bari, which really, touched a nerve for me. When we say technology implementations fail, right? They don't fail because of technology reasons. They fail because as earlier Vijay said, there is a people process technology interplay here, and if you don't address the people and process part of it, the technology alone cannot pull the entire bullock cart for you, right? It takes three bulls to pull it, right? So I think we have to look at AI from the same yardstick that we all know why technology implementations fail. By the way, that was the reason we created ClariTea Chat, right? To discuss everything other than technology that makes technology, to discuss all the other bulls that helps the technology bull pull the cart forward, right? So if ROI, if you're not getting ROI from AI, it's probably because of exactly the same reasons why your other technology implementations failed, and it has nothing new to do with AI. A very, very pertinent point.
Yeah, yes. And I just want to add, Jagdish, is that AI, as Vijay said, you're getting cognitive. Let's understand that you take all the lessons from digital transformation, amplify them, the people and process part of it. Don't Whatever you did for people and process for digital and it worked, you'll have to do better at people and processes for AI to work, because AI is a much more powerful technology, and therefore a similar intervention is needed on the people and process side to get AI right. There's one more thing just I want to say, that organizations take an automation approach or an augmentation approach, and there's a huge difference between the two. Augmentation is complementing human intelligence with artificial intelligence, and automation is replacing human intelligence with artificial intelligence. Today, AI is not at a place where you can replace human intelligence with artificial intelligence. So don't look at automation. But look at how you can augment, whether it is your customer service team, whether it is your marketing team, whether it is a recruitment team. Look at how I can increase their productivity. Automation will happen. Eventually, it will happen. But start with an approach of augmentation and human in the loop, not autonomous AI. You'll fail.
No, I think so. Let me summarize the ROI discussion. It has taken a long time, about almost 10 minutes of discussion, but very, very, I would say, passionate and insightful discussion. Thanks, Vijay and Bari, for that. So, I think it started with, like, the AI in retail, and we discussed, like, how you need to use it for. You need to basically look for unstructured data related use cases where Vijay has found success with, like, where unstructured data, or like drawings, and that cognitive evaluation, as he called it, was being used, and that's where they found the success. Then we went on to the ROI, and the root cause. Again, if 5% are seeing the success with AI in terms of ROI, then instead of just blaming AI for the rest of the 95%, we need to look at what are the other things they are doing right. And it's like any other technology, which is people and processes. And Bari made a point that, if you were, whatever you were doing on people and processes in other technology implementation, you need to do much, much better in case of AI. Probably because of the hype and because of the potential of going wrong as well, right? And
Yeah,
I think
not only
I
potential
like
of
that.
going wrong, but because of the cognitive capability that it brings, which is a really a human thing. So the insecurity that employees would have when you bring in AI is going to be huge, because that is a capability that surprises people. Like the first time you use ChatGPT, some of the answers that it gives, wow. So it can it's a very powerful technology, and therefore that is
I think you caught the nerve of it. Like, the insecurities are going to get amplified compared to any other technology, and therefore you need to do better
yeah,
on that. And I
people and
think
process.
you're absolutely right that use the augmentation instead of automation. That means keep a human in the loop. Automation will happen eventually, right? Okay, so I think we picked up a lot of questions, so we will give that a pause. And now let's. We are 18 minutes away from our hour. My God, doesn't look like we have been discussing for 40 odd minutes. So let's go a little faster. So we've been hearing a lot about agentic AI. So where are we with agents today, and how far are we from using them in production? Vijay, you did mention that you have 3 agents in production. Are they like covering 100% of the scope of those processes, or are they like, are you still testing them out?
No, the 80-20 rule applies here, right? So the human in the loop, that's the quick answer. There are some tasks that are better left to humans. There are some tasks which are potentially automatable, and you need to enhance the let's say the work life of those humans with the mundane work taken care of, or let's say the less human driven cognitive work taken care of. So the 3 agents serve 80% of the processes. But then the rest of the 20%, can it be automated? Yes, but will we have uh, befitting ROI? The answer is no. So we are still deliberating on that. Maybe we'll wait and play that. By the end of next year, same time next year, we will have 30 plus agents live and kicking, and many of those are multi-agent framework. So if I really count the agents at work, it will be multiple, but then functional agents will be about 30. And in a week's time, we are launching our own orchestration platform that will do it. It's not an AI platform; it's a AI agentic orchestration platform that will do it. But uh, agent, I think the today we don't really draw a line between report and analytics, data discovery. It's the same world here. There is, you don't want to stop at AI and say no, I don't need agentic AI. It's all agentic, because agentic is more accessible. It's just the next step. It multitudes the value. If I don't just give a hand over a decision, but I'm able to act on it. It also a little bit is dependent on your underlying tech debt situation, right? So the agentic part of it relies on the implement the task systems, transactional systems, or wherever the action has to happen, that being upgraded, that being prime time ready, with an agent potentially an agent of its own or API of its own that you could call. If you are having a live wire tech debt situation where that part can't be done, then you really need people to sit and click on multiple screens and so.
Yeah.
So I think primarily that, but otherwise our intention is to pure play go more agentic. The primary 80% of our AI use cases are agentic by default. And to the earlier discussion also, it little bit fits. I will leave with this 10-second note. We have bad processes. We have age-old technology, and we try to fix everything through AI. That's I've seen this scenario in multiple places. That's not going to work. Even if it works technically, it's not going to work from an ROI perspective. So we used to say lean before digitize. Lean and digitize rightly and take care of your data before you think about AI, right? So I think uh, whenever I see that pitfall, I kind of step aside. I say that look, let's not try to do that. But that's where agentic success lies.
Awesome. Awesome. Bari, any views on that?
Yeah.
Agentic AI?
Yeah. So first, allow me to share what is agentic AI. Agentic AI is AI taking action. When you're talking to ChatGPT, it's a reactive system. You prompt it, it will give you an answer, but it is not actually. So if you're asking it for travel destinations, it will give you the travel destinations of your choice, but it won't book your flight or it won't book your hotel. Agentic AI is when this chat gpt will be able to do those bookings and also churn out a boarding pass. So let's understand that when we say agentic AI, what is meant is AI uh, taking action. Now, are there AI agents in production? Yes. How many? Quite a few, depending on which company you're talking about. Nvidia has thousands. They claim to have millions. Vijay has already said that there are 10, and possibly most companies are likely to end up with 100 and 200 agents, if not more. But what we have to understand is we are in 2000, 2001 of internet, when internet had just come in. And so there were a few companies trying to build their websites or e-commerce, so on and so forth. So it's early days. So there will be failures, there will be experiments, there will be companies, but do not be in hindsight, we know what internet did. So companies that were experimenting with internet in 2001, 2002, some of them failed, some of them succeeded, but we know internet is a big game changer, was a big game changer. And AI agentic is going to be that kind of a technology. Yes, some companies have in production, but more companies will be bringing AI agent to production. Let there be no doubt about it. I'm usually not very deterministic or prescriptive on saying I leave room for interpretation and for things that may not happen. But I can tell you from my experience and what I have read and what I have understood, AI agents are going to transform the business. Let there be no doubt about it. It's how soon you get there and what is the approach you take is going to matter.
Awesome, awesome. So let's move on to the next question, Bari and Vijay, which is like about building capabilities, right? If this is the 2001 of internet, then we need to build the capabilities early on, to be to move fast on this. So it's a very very fast moving field. I think within 2 years it moved from Gen AI to agentic AI. Okay, and we don't know where it is going. Multi-agent frameworks and all of that. So building a solution may be relatively easier than building a enterprise capability. So how do you approach this? Especially with respect to that build versus buy decision. Which is like build your own team versus take it from partners. And it's I mean the right answer is not either or. The right answer is a mix of the two, and that's a nuance I want from both of you. So Bari, maybe you can start first.
Yeah, so you answered the question. It's not an either or question that whether you should build an in-house capability or have a partner. I would strongly recommend you do both. Now, there are a few caveats that I would put, right? Build your own capability if that is your organization culture. If you have very strong engineering team, if you are known for having engineering process prowess, in-house engineering prowess, then build a capability in house. But if it has not been your culture, if that has not been your approach for the last 10, 15, or 20 years, and you have largely relied on partners to be able to do it, don't change the game now, because you will fail. You will fail. The second thing that I would say is that whether you go for building your own capability or having a partner, at least have a enterprise view of of the architecture of how you're going to have agents deployed and agents working together. Then go about building the capability, or getting partners. But if you start building a capability or getting partners, but not have a long term view as to where you are going, I don't know, things are changing, but there is a way for you to apply, to either through a consultant or by yourself, your best technical minds can get to an enterprise architecture that you can work towards. Net answer: do both. Build your own capability as well as have partners. But if you're not used to building capabilities, or if you don't have that, please don't attempt it. Rely on partners, but have an enterprise architecture ready that you're working towards.
Yeah. So I think great one. Very very important point that don't rattle the nest, which is don't change the culture. If your IT has been a culture has had a culture of delivering internally, don't flood it with partners and vice versa. Vijay, any your what are your views on that? How are you looking at building capabilities?
Completely aligned with what Bari said. I've seen both examples. I've seen both work, but just two additional dimensions. Right. Number one, uh, very soon AI is going to be like Excel. So having a third party work on AI in your organization is going to be like depending on a third party to build Excel files for you. So it is very important, if not the developer knowledge, the usage and the overall understanding, awareness, pitfalls, do's and don'ts, very, very critical. So there should be an organization-wide AI awareness. So we have a 6 lakh classroom hours of classroom training we have planned this year. We have covered about 70% of it. In the last quarter, we'll of course complete 100% of it. But it's not just that. The second thing I want to share is, so there is uh, developer knowledge, there is user knowledge, there's leadership knowledge on how to think about AI strategically. That is also equally a big competency that is needed. And then uh, I, we call it shadow IT, but here there's nothing called shadow AI. It is good to have shadow AI because uh, with the way it is becoming dangerous, if I can just hand it over to the person who is living and breathing the problem, it can't be better than that. Onus is on me to build the guardrails, but otherwise that's the best case scenario. So I would say citizen AI developers in the businesses, plug them strategically. So pick, choose, plug them strategically in the right positions, right roles. So mixed bag of all of this is what would be critical. But Jagdish, you've always known me. I've always believed in building your own teams, but then I cannot scale up. So I rely on partners, but then pick your partners strategically, stick to them. That's what I would say, because this is a continuous evolving learning journey. After 2 years, you decided, oh, you know what, this partner has been supporting me with this process, I don't want to work with a partner anymore, I need to switch. The learning curve, it takes you back by at least 6 to 8 months. And the new partner, for no fault of theirs, is going to take time to come back up to speed. So I would say partners absolutely needed, your own teams absolutely needed. Do very and deploy them strategically. Which use cases do I build it myself? Which use cases will I rely on partners? That's also a very, very strategic question you need to focus on. Ultimately, I come back to what Bari said. It all boils down to organizational culture. Align this decision to your core organizational culture.
I agree with you.
And there's one point that he mentioned, which is very good for a business. So I'm going to reiterate it. Start with your leadership team, right? So, and 80% of my AI awareness sessions are with the leadership team, because that's where you begin. and there's no shadow AI. Like it's dinner conversation, it's family conversations, everywhere AI is being discussed. So the leaders are discussing AI. It is better to have a session where you bring everybody is on the same page, because CEO is carrying a different understanding of AI, CHRO is carrying a different understanding of AI, what AI is, what AI is not, what it can do, what it can't do. Everybody needs to come on the same page. So start with the leadership.
So, Bari, I will pepper it up a little bit. Okay,
Thank you.
you know, your leaders having a chat amongst themselves with the information and blurbs provided by the consultants is much worse than you having a conversation with them, which is much more realistic, right, and much more grounded. Because many times, I mean, I've had lots of trouble with it, that some one of the big four consultants will come, and they will show subjabag, garden to your leadership, and then they will come and say, like, Jagdish, why can't we do it? And I'm like, wait. What do we want to achieve? Let's just start with that first, instead of doing a technology that somebody
So, sorry,
told it.
Jagdish, this reminds me of what I do in my awareness session. So, let's say if it is a 2 hour session, for let's say around hour and hour 10 minutes, I talk about all possibilities, the art of possible with AI, how companies are benefiting from it, and then after 70 or 80 minutes, I bring up the slide saying 95% do not deliver ROI. And you can see the energy in the room, like, he wasted my 80 minutes. Why has we if it 95%? And then I come to the approach, the patience, the governance, the people, process, so on and so forth. It is to your point, set the expectations right. Don't
That the
don't
experience.
make it out to be a moonshot that you'll start to get ROI from tomorrow. There needs to be a strategic thought process. You need to work business backwards. There are more ways of getting AI wrong than there are ways of getting AI right,
Oh
and therefore
wow,
you
that's
need
the
to be
line of the
careful
day.
about your approach to AI.
Yeah.
Starts with leadership.
My God, we are like just at the end of the hour, and it feels like it is 20 minutes discussion. We just have been discussing for 20. It almost feels like to me that when we have those Friday evening conversations in a pub, and you're like, hey, do bach gaya. We've been here just for an hour. And I
If the
think,
audience stays, Jagdish, I'm okay to stay if Vijay is okay. Yeah, so I would say
so I think this is the nature of conversation is like that. That I mean, like, I have lots of difficulty managing time, and this is one thing that in all my audience feedbacks, we keep getting bashed up on time management, and I still am like, I'm incorrigible there, because when I'm sitting in the session, like, for me, like, it's I'm more interested in getting more out of you guys than, like, than managing it in 60 minutes. So I become greedy, definitely. So but I think we have covered a lot of it except the rapid fires. So let's get a rapid fire going. Let me see if we have some comments. We can quickly bring in. So let's from now on, let's try to finish it in the next 10 minutes. Vijay, I hope you're okay with it. uh, so whatever I bring in, please see if we can, like, give an answer within 30 seconds. And as Bari said, not to give the entire answer, but to, like, give the direction in which to find the answer, right? Okay. So let me, okay, so we can bring in some friends also. So Subbu is here. Hey Subbu, thanks for joining. So we have a question from Amrinder. By the way, guys, please shoot your rapid fire questions to our panel. Okay, so Vijay and Bari, what are the qualities, skill sets, superpowers human need to have to get the best out of and rub shoulders with machines in the near distant future? Okay, so take two of them. So two from Vijay, two from Bari. What are the qualities, skill sets, and superpowers humans need to get the best out of machines?
I would say only one: be human. The machines can't, as much as they try to match, you live up to become a machine, but machines are trying to become humans. Machines have to be machines. You be human. That's all you need. I think nothing else.
Bari?
critical thinking. See, you have to think about AI as your partner, your assistant, your buddy, both at an organization level and at an individual level or at a leadership level. And in order to get the best out of your partner, you need to be able to know and process how you're going to. As you said, Jagdish, the answer is what you started with. You have found a hack of asking AI what questions it wants answered before it is going to give an answer. That is nothing but an example of critical thinking, right? So you need to have empathy is another one. When Vijay says be human, AI truly cannot have empathy. AI cannot have consciousness, but empathy, critical thinking, and being human are the qualities that you need. Plus all the qualities that you needed for the digital transformation era.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. You take the big picture. So my addition there will be like, be in control. Machines will make mistakes. You always have people on the shop floor everywhere, like, to make sure that they are doing their job correctly, and like, there is like, whatever way they are supposed to do it, whatever processes they're supposed to follow. So I think we just need to be watchful on the mistakes part of it, right? Okay, good question. Again, how's the push from boards, budgets, and ROI? So Vijay, when you go to your board, do you get a like, okay, AI hai to kar do, ya fir you are asked hard questions?
Very hard questions, but
Okay,
then it's a very positive push, to be honest. It's From our board, it is usually like we are seeing millions of value generated through AI. How can we get there faster? And what do you need to go there faster? And are we also, from the investments we have made, are we also realizing those values? Because digital investment, in our case, being slightly late to the game, we could see AI before even our digital transformation started. Many
yeah,
of our digital investments happened with the outlook on AI. So the AI ROI was expected right throughout the investment, history. So, but very positive push. And to what Bari mentioned, strategic alignment from the CEO and all the business leaders as well helps us.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, Budgets and ROI is always a constraint. So that's it.
Rapid fire, rapid fire. Okay. So let me go to Deepak. I think you have answered this. So Vijay, thanks for sharing your insights. Can you share the key areas, use cases in your business? I think you have answered this. So let me move on to the next one. Nitin asking, how cluttered or organized product market? How much cluttered or organized is the product market? Are there any platforms which can solve end-to-end AI design to roll out, including measurement?
No.
Okay,
Okay.
now let me
I,
answer this. Let me answer this, Bari. You know, I think this reminds me of the early 90s when SAP said that, I will do every single process in your organization.
Yes, and the reason I'm smiling and laughing is not at the question, Nitin. So please, it's not at you. First of all, almost all vendors will come in and say, they provide end-to-end solutions. And when I was a CIO, I said, okay, my friend, here is the chair. Pro- Provide end-to-end solutions, because then there is no need for me, because you're going to provide end-to-end solutions. So there is nothing called end-to-end solution. There is a lot that you need to do to be able to get this right. Having said that, it is a cluttered and disorganized market. There are literally thousands of options out there. Literally thousands of options out there. So my recommendation is have an enterprise thought process. Even if you're experimenting, know that you are experimenting, right? Because once you get married to a technology, it's difficult to get out. So you got to be careful. And as I explained earlier, if you are building custom AI solutions for your organization, then any of the hyperscalers, whether it is Amazon, Google, or Microsoft, they are providing a platform where you can build and deploy this. But don't solely rely on this, as we have been talking about. Also focus on people and processes. But for tech, any of the hyperscalers will do.
Vijay, quick one on this. Guys, you are not following the rules and you're not doing rapid fire.
Sorry,
So
sorry,
I
sorry.
have a lot of questions. I'm like anxious. Vijay, quick
Okay.
thought on this.
Only platform for end-to-end AI design is building internal capability. I think your capability should drive what the end-to-end definition is. And then a single platform is not going to help you. The advantage of cloud hyperscaler is you can pick and choose multiple platforms and almost stitch them together seamlessly. So
Yeah.
single platform is overrated in today's era.
I will agree with that. Yeah, don't believe in what don't we believed in what SAP said in the 90s. We can do everything for you, and then we fell for it. No, 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 not again. And then Bari, your thing. I think we are in the dotcom boom era. Where there are hundreds and thousands of options. And coming to your point, Vijay, about the only thing that you can have end to end is a certain amount of control on your architecture, and what you do with it and how you do it with, instead of being held to ransom by anybody, right? Outside your organization. Okay, so let me so Raj Janapareddy, he was there in our ClariTea Chat earlier. Thank you, Raj sir, for joining. We have Ramya saying, "What are some smart ways to do a feasibility check on a use case as a potential AI candidate?" Ramya, I think Bari addressed it. Wherever you have unstructured information or you have lots of text, I think Vijay also alluded to it. You have lots of emails, PDFs, and cognitive evaluation related processes. I think those are the right ones to be addressed.
If you have to create, understand, and analyze unstructured data is image, audio, video, text, software also. So any function or department requiring processing of these is a potential use case for generative AI.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
So
benchmark published by use case. So you can refer to LLM benchmarks that are published for all the known foundational models and pick and choose. That's a bare minimum feasibility study, pre-existing one. You can just take off the shelf and use.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so coming to Raj is saying this is no different from the way the uh, way learn to ride a bicycle as a child. We fall and then we learn. Just because we fail, it doesn't mean the bicycle is wrong and there's no ROI. The story is the same with any or emerging stuff. Absolutely agree with you. Yeah. Yeah. Then
At
Deepak.
this point of time, I want to mention that, let's say there is an AI bubble. The AI bubble doesn't mean that AI is overhyped.
Yeah, yeah.
There was a dot-com bubble in 2000. Did this mean that internet was not a transformative technology?
It changed the
Uh,
world. Yeah,
so don't confuse people making bad investment decisions to the transformative potential of a technology.
yeah. So Raj made a comment. I see AI and applications are very different. Absolutely, Raj. I think I was hearing somebody say that people who have benefited from a technology are not the people who build the infrastructure for the technology, but the people who rode on that infrastructure and built applications. A classic example that was mentioned was this whole mobile phone. The people who build the infrastructure, which is all the towers and those networks and routing, etc., etc. I think they're in deep shit, right? I mean, look at Vodafone, what's happening to them. Some, not all of them, some of them. But I think the real benefit has been to everybody who has rode on that. The entire mobile apps first businesses like Swiggy, Zomato, etc., etc. Everybody who built applications on top of that capability. So you are absolutely bang on. So Nitin asked, what scope for platform provider to speed up AI adoption? Um, do you want a quick one sentence take on it? Platform
Platform
provider.
provider is not one. You have to own AI adoption, and you can get a consultant for change management. But don't bank on Microsoft, Google, Amazon, or SAP to drive AI adoption. You have to get specialists on change management to drive
Yeah,
AI adoption,
absolutely.
and you need to own it.
Yeah,
You
it's
need,
an internal one. It cannot
yeah,
come from
yeah.
outside. So Deepak says AI is not the silver bullet that will solve the mess in your enterprise. You only amplify. Absolutely. Ramya says, great points, Vijay, on a holistic AI awareness sessions and the democratization of AI. Absolutely bang on. Raj is saying, I have been working with SMB here. AI is being accepted with ease, and there's a runaway success, and the ROI has been phenomenal. Oh,
Raj,
that's
please
good to
connect with
hear.
me on LinkedIn. I would want to understand a little bit more of this. In SMB, runaway success and ROI is, I've not come across, but I'm sure there is, and I'd love to connect with you and understand more.
Bari, I will connect you with Raj. So Raj has also been a guest on the ClariTea Chat. So I will
Okay.
connect you with him. I think you can share notes. The more complex the problem and sturgeon multi dimensions, AI is more amenable. Absolutely. Okay. So let me see if there is any other this thing. Yeah. So why is it difficult? Bari, you had a point about some deterministic versus something, right? So why is it? Why is you said that in principle Gen AI and enterprises are at principally at a loggerhead. So
Yes,
what
yes,
are you
yes.
thinking
So
about it?
let me explain. First of all, just in case the audience does not understand, there are two very distinct branches of AI: the classic or traditional AI, which is dealing only and only with numbers, inventory optimization, logistics optimization, recommendations, weather forecast, sales forecast. These are all classic AI implementations. They deal with numbers. Generative AI is generate audio, video, image, text, document, software, so on and so forth. That is generative AI. Now, generative AI, by the very nature, is a probabilistic model. That means you would have this experience that when you give the same prompt, you don't get the same answer. Now, given that it's a probabilistic model, and enterprises are deterministic in nature. 80% of what happens in enterprises, there is only one correct answer. There are no two correct answers, right? So if you take a probabilistic model like generative AI and put it into an environment that loves determinism, you got to employ mechanisms to take and tame the probabilistic nature of generative AI and make it more deterministic and amenable to the enterprise. And big engineering gap right now, that I see organizations are going to have to deal with.
And that's a big reason why human in the loop is a easy
Yes.
sell, because that would translate your probabilistic to deterministic variance.
Awesome. Okay. So interesting question. Nowadays AI has become like a good friend for me. Actually, I treat it more like a coach. Right. That's why always I keep asking, ask me what you want, ask me what you want, right? So now when you look at in the enterprise context, are these digital employees, why and why not?
Not yet. See,
Okay.
for at some point of time, it might get to see, employees or humans by nature are autonomous, right? We're all autonomous human beings. Nobody tells us this is the time you got to wake up. So we drive ourselves. We wake up in the morning, put an alarm, get to work, make decisions, so on and so forth. AI's capability today is not enough for it to be autonomous. That does not mean that it is not going to be autonomous tomorrow. So there are certain tasks and certain aspects of business where you will put autonomous AI. That will come, but at this and when that comes, you can start treating AI agents as employees. But till then, it's a cognitive. It's your augmentation of your cognitive capabilities.
Vijay.
Finally, one topic where me and Bari might have a difference of opinion. Take this up.
Yeah.
For me, it's a big yes. Just the construct of how employees work in an organization can be easily extended to agents. So we are working on a thought process too far away. That much I agree. Too far away from real time implementation, but we are thinking about potential roles which could be done by agents. Those are still roles. It would need a human supervision, but uh, I think definitely very soon we will have agents as employees. You give them feedback, you give them frequent feedback, you give them objectives, goals. You make it as idiot proof as possible. then agents can serve as potential employees in certain roles within certain functions. Absolutely, yes. That's my dream today. But then I need to draw the line all the way to execution.
So I will only add one thing to that, Vijay, that AI works beautifully with feedback. Okay, so what happens, generally when you ask them something, like, there'll be a long answer that will come, bullets, and like, those, like, 1.5 line gaps and all of that, right? And like, you keep scrolling. So I actually, once I gave a feedback, I was having a conversation, that similar conversation, and I said, I want to give you one feedback that, I have to scroll a lot when you answer. So can you please answer in paragraphs without any line breaks? Okay. And minimize the scroll for me. And please make it also succinct, because I have to read a lot. I mean, you throw out so much that I have to read a lot. And it actually worked.
There you go.
And I keep reminding it, paragraphs, not bullet points, no no line breaks, no big, paragraph breaks and all of that. Okay. So guys, I mean, great conversation. Yes, as usual, we are out of time, and I'm ready to be bashed again from my well wishers about being punctual. But guys, it's not only me; it's three bulls here who refuse to be to be expedited. No, I mean, to be fair, great conversation, and I think very, very thought provoking. And I think it met the objective, of what I said, that you will not get, like, kind of like, any answers on the extremes, whether it is hype or whether it is real, but it is like, the real answers are somewhere in between, nuanced, and a lot of those dimensions came out. So let me quickly summarize it. Thank you, team, for for collating the summary. So usage of AI platforms, I think what came out was, work purpose backwards, right? Whether you want to use it, a native AI platform, or a CRM, or ERP bringing a platform, platforms bringing AI, or like, or you're building a fit to purpose. It always starts with, what is the purpose, what is the objective that you want to use it for, who's going to use it. One view that came from Bari there was that, don't consider an on-prem capability. It's going to be difficult to keep up in a very, very fast pace of evolution of AI. So always go for something on the cloud, right? Then we talked about security and privacy. So, like anything in technology, cybersecurity involves AI. It has to be treated like anything else. Like, you need to have awareness sessions, do's and don'ts. You have to make people clear about ownership of information. Um, and Bari mentioned that, uh, you cannot just restrict AI usage. You have to provide some options, with whatever controls that you want to put. I mean, let it not be like prohibition. There will be people will find workarounds, right? um, yeah, the governance board, AI governance framework. There was a question from Suyash on the same topic: AI governance framework and acceptable use policy. So yes, it has to be in place. Vijay shared that they have a governance board where, they cover a lot of technology, and then people and processes, AI agents working in security solutions to look at anomalies, right, in data leakage, etc. We are talking about AI in retail, where I think Bari made a very good point about any area high on image, audio, video, unstructured information, emails, any process requiring cognitive evaluations. They are even product descriptions, writing product descriptions, then copying them into multiple languages. A lot of these things can be done very well with AI, right? So I think they validated Sriram's question about uh, scaling from pilots to production with model drift, etc., etc. Um, and the uh, I think the and then we talked about AI enterprise implementations. A question from Samir. The trick is to design a pilot, an MVP, Product companies will try for a minimum risk pilot, but give them the most complex one. Be picky, iterate with it. It is not like a implementation that you go live and and it starts working. You have to iterate with it. And when we say 5% people only are getting ROI from AI, um, you don't have to trash AI, but you have to see why it's not working. And there the discussion was that like any other digital transformation where the failure rates are high, it's not because of technology, but it's about the everything surrounding technology: people, processes, governance, change management. If they have if technology implementations fail because of it, AI is no different than any technology implementations, right? And I think a very subtle point that came was that all the change management and people process efforts that you make in digital transformation, you have to actually do it over time in AI implementations, because there's a lot more insecurity with Gen AI than with other technologies, right? Agentic AI, 80/20 rule: some tasks require human intervention. So the principle that came out of this chat is like you must have humans in the loop, right? Some can be automated, but a lot of them will still require humans in the loop while they go towards autonomous agents, etc., right? Bad processes, age-old technologies, they cannot be fixed with AI. We had a principle in technology which is lean before digitize. I think that applies to AI also, right? And I think Bari made that distinction: agentic versus AI is basically action versus information. If it's information being delivered, it's AI. If it is action being delivered, then it is agentic. And the fact that we are in the 2001 of internet, and the AI is going to change the world, right? What else? Okay. Yeah, building capability. Yeah, look at your culture of your IT implementation. If it has been partner centric, go there. Have an enterprise strategy in place, as well as an enterprise architecture. Be democratic about AI is going to be like Excel. It's important to have usage, understanding, pitfalls, awareness across the enterprise about AI. And I think Vijay mentioned some fantastic statistic, like I think some 3 lakh hours planned, Vijay, or 5 lakh hours.
6 lakh.
6 lakh hours of training planned across the enterprise, and 70% of that is complete. Another very insightful point came that you need three dimensions of knowledge: developer knowledge, user knowledge, and leadership knowledge. All of them needs to be worked upon. And I think the way we have the citizen analysts earlier, we need to have citizen AI developers in the businesses. Rely on partners to scale up. Pick partners strategically, because you will be having to spend a long time with them. um, Amarinder asked, like, the qualities, skill set, superpowers human need to get the best out of and rub shoulders with machines in future. And the answer was like, critical thinking, be human, and be in control, right? Watch out for the pitfalls that are happening there. uh, Nitin asked a question on push from boards, budget, and ROI. Lot of that, but a positive push, right? We talked about the product market, very very cluttered, like the dotcom boom times, thousands of options, no platforms that can do it end to end it for you. It's only you who can do it by being in control of your enterprise architecture, right? There are some other, like, small little ones. There are more ways to get AI wrong than getting it right. I think there was another point about deterministic versus probabilistic. The enterprises are deterministic. 80% of what happens has to happen based on certain rules, whereas Gen AI is probabilistic, and therefore, Vijay's point that you need human in the loop, right? And I think thanks, Bari, for making that distinction clear to our audience about classic AI versus Gen AI, right? And that's where the deterministic versus probabilistic comes, and why classic AI has worked well, but generative AI, you still need to do some work. Okay. Well, oh my God, I said 10 minutes and we are 6:25. But thank you, Bari and Vijay, for being with me all through, and thanks for everybody who's still staying on. We always knew that we are going to run out of time, but uh, before we say bye, I want to recap our objective. It was to provide our audience with diverse, rich, and uncanny viewpoints to assess your own organizations, to assess even if you are even if you're not in the IT industry, you can get a much more richer point of view about AI in organizations, and what's happening out there. I hope we have been successful in doing that. Personally, I must say that I have got a much richer perspective from both EB and Vijay here. Before we end, thank you our audience for attending, engaging, and also for sharing your views. In all these detailed comments that you had, I would say that that's one reason I didn't want to lose out on any of the comments. So I did take the liberty of going long to cover all the comments. And I know a lot of you watch the recorded version of it. So thank you all who are watching the recorded version. You may be in a mall or movie somewhere, but thanks for watching it afterwards. Please enjoy your family time. We'll be back next month. And before we hang up, Vijay and Bari, thank you so much for your support, for being part of the preps, and individually for being there in your one-to-one guest sessions, and now being there on the panel. Thanks for your support over this long period of time, and
Thank you,
joining us.
Jagdish, for the wonderful questions, the way you crafted it, the way you prepared it. And thank you, audience, so much for listening. And thank you, Vijay, for your insights. Appreciate it. I
Same
learned
here.
a lot.
Same here. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, everyone. Please enjoy your weekend. Bye
Bye
bye.
now.